There we go. Okay. Hi, Kendra.
Hey, Jeremy. I sent you an email earlier today with the ordinance that was passed at the council meeting regarding Zoom meetings. Did
Yeah,
you get? Okay. Would you be able to share that with everybody when?
I did. Did I not copy you in on that? Maybe I didn't copy you in on that.
Oh, shoot me. I didn't get it.
Maybe I didn't copy you in because I knew you already had it.
Okay.
But that's it's really just FYI, right? I mean, there's nothing, we could still operate as a Zoom.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. The only requirement is that people have to have their cameras on in order to vote.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Okay.
like the one like nitpicky little thing that would change, but
Okay. Maybe I'll put that on an agenda just to make sure that, hey, you know, like the committee, this is what the committee would like to do. Because I think I read that it has to be like a majority vote or something like that.
yeah, and I was gonna mention it when I talk about like council business tonight, and so we can, there's two ways according to the ordinance that we can decide how to do it. Either it can be by decree of the chair, or we can vote as a council or as a committee.
Okay. I'll throw it on the agenda next time.
Okay, that sounds good.
What's up, Luke?
Hello.
God, I apologize, guys. This sun is brutal. Holy cow. Yeah. It's nice to see the sun, but just, wow. I'll just sit like this for a little bit.
Blades in the, are we gonna put blinds in the budget?
Oh, I'm actually at home, believe it or not. I was
Oh.
like, you know what? I'm going to go home and do this. So, yeah, didn't think it was necessary to stay there all day.
How are things out there? Pretty soggy?
Yeah, but we're getting there. It's actually not as bad as I was anticipating. Carl, hey Carl.
Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
Good.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Carl.
Kelsey is not going to be here. For the record, she's done. I think she's realized that, you know, with travel back at it, she's probably not going to be able to commit to this committee any longer. So just a heads up there. And then Brad is not feeling well. So the only one we're missing is Tom. But we do have a quorum.
Do you want to give him another minute or do you want to get started or?
Carl, you're vice chair, right?
I am indeed.
Your call.
How about if we wait just a couple of minutes?
Couple. Okay, sounds good.
I was in contact with Tom earlier today, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be here.
Okay.
In the meantime, Luke takes a slug there, so that's good.
Just water. Just
Just
water.
while
Carl.
we're in. Sure, Luke.
For the record.
For the record. And I've got mine too, so there you go. Just checking if Tom has left any messages, so don't see anything.
Okay, well, anyway, Carl, I think we should move along.
I just left Tom a quick message, so just
Okay.
in case. Well, I guess I call the meeting to order, 6:03.
Yep.
And I think the first thing we do is ask for Any public comments?
Yep.
And seeing there's no public on the line and no comments, then we move on to our next topic, which is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Do I hear a note of approving the minutes from the last meeting?
Motion to approve?
Do I hear a second?
This is Mark. I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, if I don't miss anything in the meantime here, we can go on to our agenda items. Jeremy, you're up. Golf operations and financial update.
Yeah, so kind of was able to take a tour of the golf course today. It's remarkable how much snow ended up melting so fast. It's still a little bit wet out there. 8 Woods is still impassable, but you know, because the snow, just that tree line covers that snow. So 8 Woods is still impassable, 9 Woods is still impassable, but it's coming along nicely. It was remarkable how, frankly, relatively dry it is, and so we are eyeballing an open date. I don't know the exact date as of right now, but we're probably, if I had to put something in writing today, it was probably be like Friday, March 31st is our judgment. So
Sweet.
the frost are still it's, you know, like pretty icy this far underneath the soil, and so we just don't see the need to push it if we don't have to. And then also, you know, like we kind of want the power line company to continue doing what they're doing currently, since it's more dangerous work. And so I've got a meeting on Thursday with them again, and I'll give them a heads up as far as like a date is concerned, so we can start planning. But so that's where we're at. Nothing other than that necessarily from a golf operation standpoint. And of course, just the standard operating procedures of us getting ready to open up the doors. So from a financial perspective, I do not have any pertinent information in regards to 2023's numbers. I don't, you know, like obviously due to lack of business. So you'll see 2023 in the next meeting, but I do want to share 2022's numbers, right? So you guys should have seen this. Just to clarify, you know, like obviously column O and column P, don't worry, they are not redundant. It was just more for the finance team to kind of make some changes or some add and subtract some things. But as you can see, it was a pretty healthy year from a financial revenue standpoint, just under $4.1 million in gross revenue. And then operating, you know, like you can see that these are our operating expenses. And then of course, Bill, our finance director, and Diego from the finance team. This is our depreciation as of right now, and then our capital acquisitions. Okay. Now, remember that these are not audited just yet, so, but these are pretty firm or pretty close numbers, okay? The other thing is with our 4.1, if you recall, and maybe I don't need to really get into this, but we had a transfer in of $206,000 due to the acquisition of land. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then that brings me up to this document, okay? Mm-hmm. And so that 3.877 is does not include the acquisition of land, considering it's right here, okay? So these were our pretty much our again, not 100% audited, but pretty darn close. Our operating expenses versus operating revenues versus operating expenses. And then we had the acquisition of land right here. This would be the capital in terms of cash out, right? So now this is dealing in terms of cash, this document. And then this is what I'm kind of getting into on line item number 2 here, but this is what I would be recommending to pay the advancement to TID district number 3 of 844, which leaves us a net increase of $605,000 in cash. So our beginning cash balance was just over $1 million, which leaves us right around, call it 1.6 million. Does anybody have any questions on our financials?
No, but thanks for going through that, Jeremy. I just wanted to make sure I had it right. And that's exactly what I thought. So spot on.
Thanks for clarifying the 2 December columns for me. I was wondering
Yeah.
what was going on there. I kind of figured it out when I looked at the formulas, but
Right.
you just emphasized what it was there.
Mark, I did the exact same thing. I sent them an email right back. I'm like, hey guys, what's up with column O and column P? I was confused.
Yeah.
No, they were great. And I tell you what, they did a phenomenal job to get us a pretty close guess. So that as far as, like non-audited version goes, so that we can make a recommendation to make a journal entry for the TID advancement.
Got it.
From my perspective on that 844, I am totally in favor of paying that amount, which I think is I think you moved like the 2026 number up into 22 or something along that line.
Yeah, well, Mark, hold that thought. Because
Okay.
that's another agenda item. I
Okay.
probably could have kept this as one, but any other questions on just the financials from last year, or any golf course questions for me? Maybe this can lump into it. Kendra sent over a document earlier today about our virtual meetings, and so we'll put that in the agenda for next month if we want to continue doing virtual, or if you guys want to start meeting in person, maybe just take that into consideration in preparation for next month's meeting. Again, we could talk about it then, but it does make my life easier by doing Zoom as opposed to coming down to City Hall. That's just my 2 cents, especially in the heat of the battle, when it's really hard for me to get out there before 5:30 p.m. because there's so much going on the golf course. Anyway, but other than that, that's all I really have for the golf operation and financial update.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yep.
Item 2.
So then item 2, I think a couple pieces of information for you guys to be aware. The whole idea is to get rid of the 2026 payment. And here's the reason why. This is from Bill. Bill and I have been talking back and forth for a little bit about this, and we both agree. But here are the key reasons. The TID 3 expenditure period ends in 2025. Okay, so that would be a good reason to get rid of it.
Yeah.
The city is going to be looking at options for either early closure of the TID or a final large subtraction, and having the advance repaid may help provide flexibility for the TID at that time. Okay. Regarding interest rates, because I know that was brought up, they have not been booking interest rates on the advancements, but with the rates moving up, that's probably something that they may look at. And I'm not going to push it beyond that.
Okay.
I think that it's with us having the 206 come in, right? I think that should get immediately dumped into TID, my opinion, because that's money that we weren't expecting, right? And I know we gave up asset for that, but now on the flip side, we are going to be assessed, which this is one of the documents in the packet that I sent you guys out.
Mhm.
we're gonna be assessed, roughly $95,000, whatever that number was. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe it's 96. So we are going to be assessed in 2023, that 96,000. Now, Bill said that he would rather have us pay down the 844 with the understanding that there could be some flexibility on that 96 if we needed it. Okay, to repay that a different way. But I think Bill is really hoping that we'll do that 844. Everybody recall that assessment? Remember, we're being assessed on that, right? And the worry, maybe Mark and Kendra and Luke, this might have been before you guys were on board. Actually, it was, because this is with Mark Sullivan. The biggest piece was, okay, we sell the land, that's fine, but we don't want to be assessed more than what the land is worth. And so we got a net return on that, which is great. So 206 coming in, 96 going out. Not bad. So that's my thought. And from a selfish standpoint, 2025 was always my goal, right? I feel very good about 2023. I really do. Our golf outings, we're not accepting any more golf outings. We're that busy. I'm not seeing a slowdown. I'm really not. Are there going to be slowdowns because people are back in the office? Sure. Are there going to be slowdowns because of the road construction? Yeah, probably. But I feel good about our budget. I really do.
I mean, based on your health and financials look great. So to me, it's the perfect time to do it. Rather shore that up before the uncertainty of, the next few years. So it sounds really good.
And Mark, what were you saying then? I mean, I don't know if you guys want to make a motion for approval and then have a discussion, or.
That's
No,
usually.
I was, I'm totally on board with the 844, especially in light of the potential interest and all of that. I'm all for paying that down. We've got it. I did look ahead, and you kind of already answered the question. But one of my, as I was going through the packet, the 94,000, if I added it right, it was lines 2 and 3 on that other item on the agenda there. So where would that be coming out of? That you're kind of saying, well, we got 206 in and 94 going out. Does that have any material impact on this for 2023, do you think, or no?
Well, we would take it out of our cash.
Just out of the operations, or just the reserve, or?
Well, ideally out of the operations.
Out of the
if we
operations,
can cover
okay.
it, right?
That was the note I had, was operations is where I assumed that would probably come from, but I just wanted to clarify, whether that was where you were thinking it was going to be, or if we needed to use some of this capital reserve here for that.
Yeah, and Mark, in a picture perfect world, we would cover it based on user fees, right? And but in an imperfect world, we would cover it on our reserve fund, which is why we have it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with the 844. I don't have any issues with it.
It sounds like we're all pretty much in agreement, but just to be official on that, should we have a move to approve that?
You need a motion, yeah.
So do I hear a motion to approve that?
I'll make this, Mark. I'll make the motion to approve it. I hope I don't need to word the motion, but.
Same here.
Do you need help with that, Jeremy, or do you got it?
No, I'm just going to say recommendation to the finance committee to approve the advancement to TID 3 of 844,290.
Perfect.
I will second that motion then.
So the motion has been seconded. Do we have any further discussion? If not, I think we put it up to a vote now. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously.
And just for clarification, I might just say finance department, just in case they don't need it to go to the committee. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I'm sure Bill will regardless. So.
Sounds good, Jeremy. Okay,
The discussion about TID 3 will be coming up at the committee of the whole meeting at the end of next week now.
next week.
So that does help that we've made this decision, so they're aware of it when we're making that decision. So thank you.
Yeah, and you know what, Kendra, this could go into your common council report.
Oh, okay, yeah. Awesome.
Good idea.
I think it's a very good story to tell.
Very good, yeah.
Okay, Pleasant View Road and golf course updates. So lots of things have happened, right, since we've last chatted.
Indeed.
The road is closed for pretty much the rest of the season until at least November, from what my understanding, from our driveway to Quarry Road, which is the road just south of the Middleton Co-op. And so that hill is no longer passable. They've cleared a bunch of trees. If you haven't been down Pleasant View Road already, you won't recognize, or if you haven't been down Pleasant View Road yet, you won't recognize it. It's absolutely remarkable how many trees they did have to take out. They are currently in the process of working the ATC and MG&E lines. And so that's the first order of business. And then I believe the second order of business is to get in there and do the temporary widening and the excavating of the ponds, which may start like beginning of April. We have weekly meetings every Thursday, and we have weekly meetings in regards to the golf course renovation every Wednesday. So, obviously pretty in tune of what's going on. I sent you over the schedule of events over the next 3 weeks, and yeah. So that's where we're at. There's always some growing pains that's involved with all of this, such as, blocking of the driveway, FedEx not realizing that they can get to our golf course, but we're managing it just fine. Kind of like minor things.
So Jeremy, thanks for sending the notes out to the leagues. I have received some of those as well, and it looks like you're keeping the leagues up to date. And I think that's working quite well. They'll all be prepared.
Yeah, no, and we've got a live construction update that we have on our website, and we're going to be very proactive in regards to our email campaign and social media posts and things like that. So yeah, we're ready for it. It's exciting times. It's going to be a challenge, but I feel like it's going to be a very exciting year.
And Jeremy, where do you project for the season once you have golfers coming in? Where do you project that traffic kind of, since you're taking away one entry of the corridor? You think that's going to push? Is it going to fill up one of the? Any concerns, I guess, about traffic patterns or any thoughts on that so far?
Obviously, that would probably be a better question for DOT, which I'm sure they've figured that out. But yeah, if you're coming from the north, you've got a couple ways. You can head over to Deming Way to Greenway Boulevard, or you can take Pleasant View Road to Quarry Road to Greenway Boulevard. Okay. As far as the traffic patterns, Luke, that's out of my scope of professionalism. Okay. So yeah, I can't speak to that. And then obviously from the south, you're able to access Pleasant View Road from the south. What that looks like once they do the temporary road, I don't know. I don't know about delays. I can't speak to that just yet, but that is certainly something that we're curious upon. I've asked staff from an anecdotal standpoint, right, a very subjective viewpoint, they've seen no issues doing those detours over to our golf course.
And that's more where I was thinking was, I didn't know if you were going to do any detour signs specific to the course or anything like that, or just that kind of stuff.
Pleasant View Golf Course will not, because we don't have necessarily the right to place signage in places, right? That's why we just got to hit them with email, hit them with social media. Google Maps will do their thing, it'll adapt. Yeah, I feel very comfortable about it. And you know what, Luke, if something changes where we don't feel comfortable, we'll figure out a way to convey the message accordingly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Jeremy, where will the temporary road be? I just can't picture it. Is it right next to where current road is, or is it going to be just a gravel road leading to the course?
You know, Carl, I don't know that answer exactly. I believe it's coming to the west a little bit. I really don't know, Carl. Yeah.
Okay. We just know it's going to be a temporary gravel road. That's what we know, and it'll be a way into the course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Renovation, I mean, you know, if Hoffman Construction comes in the first week of April for the pond excavation, you know, they're going to need to dump that dirt somewhere. And so, you know, you'll probably start seeing some trucks on our golf course in beginning of April, right? So, yeah, Golf Creations will probably get in there sometime mid-April, maybe a week or two after that they start dumping dirt, and hopefully they get the renovation stuff done, you know, earlier in their year. The only thing that we're possibly looking at is adding Prairie number 2 into the mix of renovating those bunkers. And the reason for that, long story short, with the tee box of Lake 6, we're a little bit concerned about ricocheted golf balls essentially heading down towards those tees because it's all hard pan. And so we are looking at the possibility of reshaping those, especially the left bunker, to collect those golf shots as opposed to being ricocheted. Okay. I'm just getting pricing for right now to see what that'll even look like, right? So TBD on that. But if we look at our cap reserve fund, I still feel comfortable. But again, TBD. And yeah. That's all I've got. I think I hit everything, Ish.
Yeah, I think between what we just talked about, Jeremy, and what you sent us, you know, as some of the documents, that gets us up to date. It sounds good. Okay, shall we move on to item number 4? 1551 PB Road Development.
Kendra, do you have any updates on this? I just have it on there because you all requested it.
Yeah, I had some emails back and forth with Daphne and Abby today. The SIP was on the agenda for the Planning Commission. So this is the special implementation plan for the project. It was on the Planning Commission's agenda on February 28th. There were some concerns voiced over lack of green space from the Planning Commission members. The developer presented their landscaping plan for the development, and it had altered a little bit. There was kind of more finalized plans. They've shifted a few of the buildings. They've made minor adjustments. They provided a landscape plan, and it didn't include a lot of green space. And the Planning Commission was concerned about residents going over and using the golf course as green space. And so the planning department,
which will happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so the developer, it's got deferred. They didn't vote on it. They didn't approve the SIP. So it's been deferred. Daphne doesn't expect them to have a plan. They've met with the planning department. The developer for 151 or 1551 has met with the planning department regarding changes to their landscaping plan. But they have a few more things to solidify and have to formally submit the plan. And so it probably won't be back in front of the Planning Commission until sometime in April. It won't be on the next meeting, which is next week. The Planning Commission has a meeting on the 28th. It will not be on that agenda. The soonest it would be on would be sometime in April. So that's something to keep an eye on for sure. The specific requests from the planning commissioners were like, where do you go to throw a baseball? Where do you go to you have a lawn? And so that will be something to see what comes back to the planning commission on that. They will not start any sort of construction on the project until after Pleasant View is done, though.
Oh,
Really?
interesting.
Okay, didn't know that. All right.
That's what Daphne had said. Let me see if I can find, she said, the project will take place after the road construction, as they will be connecting to utilities, which will be extended during the road construction. So I don't know, knowing that some of the construction is going in phases, I don't know exactly when they would start, but she does say after the road construction.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That's good information right there.
yeah.
There's
Do you know,
lots of,
are they burying the utilities then that they're putting in right now, Jeremy? Is that all going underneath, or are they putting up more poles?
No, they're relocating the poles.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, this is just the relocation of the ATC lines.
Okay. Oh, the ADC, okay.
and if you wanted any more detail, there was a lot in the minutes from that meeting. So
Yeah.
if anyone's interested or hasn't seen it yet, there's a lot in there that where they talk about where somebody can throw a baseball or football, whatever. That's right in there with the rest of the details. So yeah, there are concerns that are being addressed, and it'll take a while for them to get that done until April or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on record on this, like the thing with Pleasant View Golf Course is we really have to be cognizant of the fact that with that bridge, and I've said this 50 times, that bridge coming over, right? I feel like we're going to have to do our duty to ensure that they understand that this is not the public space. This is not green space. This is not where you go throw a baseball. Because in our experience, people are like, they will do what they want to do because they believe they are, I don't want to say entitled to it, but they'll get away with it, or whatever the case is. So anyway, we all know that though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, there are some other legal hurdles that the development has to run through because they are taking away some conservation space. And so there has to be some changes. There has to be an agreement about some conservation lands, and that actually has to go through the courts.
Yeah.
So that also delays things as far as what the final plan will be. But we should continue to watch it and continue to watch what comes out of the Planning Commission.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that the Plan Commission had our back though, like concerns, that
Yeah,
was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendra. Okay, any other discussion on the on 1551 Pleasant View Road? If not, Jeremy, you've got item 5 with the capital reserve discussion.
Yeah, I don't really have any update as of right now. I mean, I am in the process of talking with Blake to get our master plan going as discussed, right? I think that's the biggest piece. And I know that we do want to have the our capital reserve plan kind of re-looked at, right? But I don't think this is the right year for that. So I may postpone that just for one more year after post-construction. So that's really it right now. That's all I have, unless you guys have anything to add. Like I truly just don't have a great update.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy.
Mhm.
Kendra, on the Common Council report? What's up?
yeah. So the two things, or the one thing that I want to make sure that everybody is aware of is the new ordinance that was passed at the last Common Council meeting regarding meeting of committees. We are going to continue. There was a lot of discussion about this, about whether or not committees should be meeting in person or not. That the ordinance has said that remote meetings, Zoom meetings can continue at the decision of the committee itself, either by declaration by the chair or by a vote of the committee members. They can decide how they would like to be meeting. The one requirement is that in order to be included in numbers for quorum, you have to be meeting with a video component. You can't phone it in. You have to have your video on. And that was specifically for quorum purposes. If you have to attend or if you can only attend by phone, we would still encourage you to attend, but you would not be considered in numbers for quorum. That's sort of the major thing that committees need to be aware of going forward. And I appreciate that Jeremy will put it on the agenda for next time so that we can vote on it as a committee. There was there was encouragement that committees would meet maybe once a year in person just to develop personal connection, even if it's just like a social thing, just so people could get to know each other and sort of build a community. But that was not required. It was just a suggestion.
Yeah, Kendra, I like that suggestion. I think that's a great idea. I mean, I would encourage that for us.
Yeah. And I would say that it doesn't have to be at City Hall. We can meet at the, we can meet at the bar. We can meet at the
Yeah,
19th hole. I'm
Right.
blanking the name of it.
The golf course. We can meet at the
Golf
golf course. Yeah,
Well, the Goat Hill
Goat Hill.
Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The only
So-
trouble that we've found, because we used to do meetings up there, is at 6 p.m. it's chaos.
Right.
It is chaos up there, and
Yeah.
organized chaos for anybody listening. And so it just isn't a great environment for a meeting. But maybe like in the fall where it kind of slows down a little bit, I would love to have you guys up there. Yeah, but I think it's a great idea to meet maybe once or twice a year in person. I would be very open to that. It just, June 21st and we're trying to meet on a Monday or at 6 p.m. on a Monday. That's hard for me. And,
No.
it really is.
And I really think for a committee like this, when there's so many numbers that get thrown around, I think the sharing of a screen in this format, I think it works just fine. And this is me personally speaking, I don't think there's any reason, but we can talk about this more obviously next time.
Love it.
But I think everyone on this committee, well, Carl, were you on it when they were meeting in person?
We did meet a couple of times, I think, at the course, Jeremy, when I first came on board. And in fact, yeah, when I first started, we met at City Hall.
Yeah, we didn't meet. We haven't been meeting at the course for quite some time, unless we did a special one.
I
That
think
was
we did a special one or two, Jeremy. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago that we were at the course. But typically we were always did like conference room C at
C.
City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's no reason that, I think this works just fine. And I feel like, everybody that's attending right now has attended every meeting that I have been at, and I think it works well for people. So again, we can talk more next time as a committee, but if you have any questions about the ordinance and the way that it's worded, let me know. But you have it now. We can talk about it for next time and have an official vote on it. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else other than Pleasant View Road construction stuff, which Jeremy has really given the golf course's take on it. There was a public information meeting in the library that the DOT and the construction crews were at. Unfortunately, it wasn't a formal presentation. It was just looking at a lot of the maps. So Carl, just now when you were asking about the temporary road, I was trying to remember what that was, but it was more of a shifting of the lanes that was on the map. So I don't, yeah, so and even then it was kind of hard to get a read on it. There were a lot of people there from the city of Madison that will be highly impacted by things down by like the old Sock area. So there was a lot of discussion about that section of Pleasant View, not so much up by the golf course. But the only other thing would be when I go to the council meeting tomorrow night, I will report that we just voted on the approval of the advanced repayments, which is awesome. And again, the timing is perfect because we are talking about setting policy priorities over the next 2 weeks. We will be looking into what to do with TID and all that kind of fun stuff. So appreciate having that vote going in.
Hey,
I will
Kendra.
also, yeah.
On that, so I think it's we're only paying the 844, right? So we're paying a large
Right.
sum, but not the whole thing.
Right.
And then
Right.
the other thing to make sure is we were budgeted for 450.
Right.
right? And so I don't want to say we're doubling this thing, but I guess if you take out the 206, right, 206, I don't want to call that found money, but 450 or what was it, 844
44,
and some change minus 206.
6. So, yeah,
638.
Yes, so minus 450, we're adding approximately $188,000 above what we were budgeted for.
Got
To
it.
give you- Yeah.
Got Okay. right.
But I still think that's a really neat story. And if you just wanted to say it was 450 and now it's 844, fine. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it speaks a lot to the health of the golf course. And I will also, if I may, share the good projections for this year despite the road closing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I don't want to say the confidence, but I don't know, however you want to word that, right? But maybe the cautious confidence, right?
Okay.
cautious optimism.
Yeah. I want them to understand that we're still very cognizant of the fact that things could change.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the wettest summer ever,
Right.
what do you do? So you go in with optimism, but prepare for what it throws you. So, yeah.
Right.
But I think we're in a healthy space to be able to be, we are in a healthy enough place that we can pay that back and still feel confident that we'll make it through the summer. So I think it's good. It's a good thing to report.
I agree.
Anything else from Council, Kendra, or is that
That's
it?
pretty much it. Unless
Okay.
anyone has any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer, but
New mayor going in
yes, don't forget to vote.
April
4th.
6th or 4th. Okay. New mayor, and then how many new potential council members?
3,
Definitely 3, possibly 4,
possibly 4. Okay.
depending on the mayor vote.
Okay.
I think early voting starts next week, 27th, I think it is, Kendra, if I got it right.
I think
For
it's
those
already
people-
started.
Did
Did
it
it start?
already Yeah, it might start this week,
Yeah, I think it does start this week.
later this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that want to vote early or get your vote in early.
Just out of curiosity, Jeremy, does the course present anything to like a new mayor, new council folks, just to get them up to speed on like impact of the course, so like I work for Wisconsin Public Media, Wisconsin Public Radio, PBS Wisconsin. And so when we get new legislators, we make sure that they know the impact to the state of Wisconsin, just so that they kind of, they could Google it, but I just didn't know if you did anything for like transitions like this.
We not necessarily transitions. I think I did have, Mayor Gurdeep has been mayor for, is it the 3rd term? Has it been 9 years?
Yeah, it's his 3rd term.
Is it 3rd term? Okay.
Jeez, it's kind of dating me here. It's crazy.
Yeah, me too. Since I moved here. So.
Wow. So anyway, I know that I presented something to the mayor at the time during the transition. I'm not sure what the future mayor will ask. We do a golf course update as a public presentation on an annual basis that is shared out to the council and the mayor. But no, Luke, I don't go in front of the Common Council and present who Pleasant View Golf Course is. I think that's what Kendra is, kind of a liaison for us. If the council wanted me to, I'd be more than happy to. Or if the mayor wanted me to, I'd be more than happy to. But it's not something that is scheduled around the books. At least that I'm aware of right now.
And just to clarify, the course is in District 1, which will have you will have a new rep. The course itself.
Sure, but you're still sticking on the golf committee.
As far as I know, unless I get replaced.
Yeah, true. The mayor could, yeah, that's right. The mayor does have the power to replace, one of the
Things like-
powers. Yeah,
Yeah, those all those all happen like the second council meeting in April, we get our assignments, so. I'm assuming things will stay somewhat similar unless there's somebody that comes on that is mega
Adamant.
interested in being and really wants it, so we'll
Yeah.
see how. But yeah, I think consistency across it is pretty key, especially considering a lot of the council members are new. We have a very young council right now.
and who knows, maybe the council will have a department, 10-minute presentation, just so that everybody, who knows? I don't know.
I know they're looking into, well, you guys, this is probably more information than you guys want to know, but onboarding with new council people, there might be a request for some sort of presentation. So,
Okay. Well, thank you, Kendra, for that update. I think we're now at item number 7, which is future agenda items.
For the record, I enjoy that, Kendra, so that we can maybe as a committee understand what is maybe being discussed that could influence us or vice versa, right? So I'm glad this is on the agenda.
yeah, I mean, it's always smart too, to keep an eye on the planning commission stuff, because that stuff doesn't usually come into the council. And, I don't always have the time to watch all their minutes either, so.
Well, we appreciate your information for sure. All right,
Absolutely.
sorry, designation of future. I imagine the standard, like number 1, number 3, I think we could probably not have number 4, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Number 5, number 6.
Yep, all of which sound good to me for next
Good to
time.
me as well.
I can't.
Anybody
think
want
of
to
anything
add
else.
anything other than the agenda for Zoom or virtual? I'll add that.
Okay, great. As a separate docket item then.
Approval of, okay, hold on, 1, 3, 5,
3,
6. Yeah, got it. Okay.
6, and then the, yeah,
And Zoom. Okay.
Zoom, yeah.
Or I shouldn't call it Zoom, but okay.
Meeting preference, whatever.
All right.
Jeremy, is there anything else we should be covering tonight?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Everyone else, anything else to add to the discussion tonight? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
We need to schedule a next meeting, or we're just gonna wait on that?
We will not adjourn yet.
17th or 24th.
Yeah, I think Easter is the 16th, the 9th, I'm sorry. So yeah, the 17th.
17th works well for me. I mean, that's the third Monday typically is what we do.
Yep.
That works, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
We will do it via Zoom, right? And then
Yep.
and then we can adapt going forward. So
Yeah, we can discuss and then adapt from there.
done. 6 o'clock on April 17th.
Got it. Well, do I now hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right.
All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Okay. Good meeting, folks.
Thanks for
Great.
checking.
Thank you, guys.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
Have
you.
a good one, everybody. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
See ya.
guys. Take care. See ya.